One cannot think well, love well, or sleep well if one has not dined well. Virginia Woolf said that. She was saying that about humans and how they can't properly function without the proper nutrients. We have to have the right mixture of carbs, of proteins, of lipids, of fats, all of that in order to make sure that we run healthy like a machine. Machines all require some type of fuel, whether it be electricity, gasoline, diesel, so on and so forth, to make their engines run. The same thing with dogs. Dogs and cats both require a specific set of nutrients in order to live the healthiest and most fulfilling life. Such as my dog Buddy, who has renal failure. He's had this problem for about 3 to 4 years now, and it was not noticed at first by his first doctor before he underwent 111 minutes of anesthesia. And then they did the standard blood work before. It wasn't until I noticed he was not eating anymore, he was quite lethargic, and he was having issues by not just being himself, that I took him into the veterinary office. We ran a simple blood panel and noticed that his creatine and BUN levels were almost double what they should have been. That's when we noticed that he's probably in the early stages of renal failure. The perk that we were able to catch is that we were able to catch it soon enough to where just changing his diet would help prolong his life. So right now he is on the kidney disease diet from Hill's prescription diet, not their science diet line, but their prescription diet line. And with his most recent blood panel done back 3 months ago, his kidneys are now at the lowest they have been in 3 years, which is a lot to say considering he's only an 11-year-old dog. Since keeping him on his diet, he has more energy, he's paying more attention to his surroundings. He's able to get up and run around with the puppy even though he's still 11 years old. He's able to function like he's always wanted to. Archie is my 6-year-old German Shepherd Chow Chow who has had major weight problems. So just by simply changing his diet and counting his calories, I was able to help him decrease his weight from 98 pounds, which was grossly obese, to now he is at a 70-pound dog. He still has some ways to go. We want him to be down in about the low 60s to 65 range for weight. But the issue with Archie is because of his weight mixed with stairs in my house and stuff like that, he ended up tearing his humans will call it an ACL, but in the animal world we call it the CCL, the cranial cruciate ligament. And compared to the humans, which is the anterior cruciate ligament. And so since he has been on this diet, he has now lost weight, he's feeling a lot better, he's not limping around as much, and I did elect to not go through the surgery because of his age. He was in line for a $5,000 surgery. Freya is my 11-month-old pit bull mastiff puppy. She is on the large breed puppy diet to ensure that she gets the proper amount of nutrients to grow into the full-size dog that she's supposed to be. She's estimated to be between 70 and 80 pounds in weight. And she's already at 11 months old, standing almost up to my hip when she's on all four, and she can very easily lick my face when she is standing on her hind legs, and I am 6'4", to put it in perspective. Now, with animals, we come to a couple questions. The main ones I ask is, where did we come from with feeding our pets? I always like to look at the past so I can appreciate what we have presently and see where we're going scientifically in the future. So where did we come from with feeding them? What's the difference between feeding our puppy and feeding our 11-year-old senior dog? And what's the difference between feeding a cat and feeding a dog? And why can't we feed the animals like their wild counterparts? Why can't we feed a dog like a wolf? Why can't we feed a cat like a mountain lion? Well, the only way to appreciate where we've come is to take a small stroll down memory lane. Back before the whole boom of animal nutrition came out back in the 60s and 70s is really when we started focusing on what can we do for man's best friend. The animals lacked basic nutrition, and it led to many preventable illnesses. The main one we're even seeing today is dilated cardiomyopathy, which is an enlargement of the heart valves that makes the heart have to pump harder, which leads to early exhaustion and other problems like that, which can be easily fixed by changing the diet. So far right now we think it's linked to the grain-free diets, but there is no absolute research on that yet. They also think that it could be from a lack of taurine, which dogs can synthesize taurine with different proteins found in normal foods. Cats absolutely cannot synthesize taurine. They require taurine. And taurine specifically is critical for normal vision, digestion, heart muscle function, and to maintain a normal pregnancy and fetal development, and leads to a healthy immune system. Back before commercialized dog foods came out and all of that, we were feeding our dogs just table scraps, and that was not enough to keep up with their nutrition requirements. I'd give my dog a piece of steak here, lamb bone there, the ham bone from Christmas dinner there, and it led to animals just getting all of these preventable illnesses. Dogs are omnivores, and they require both meat and they require plants. They are protein dependent though, meaning that they do require more meat, and cats are just strictly carnivores. They require a heavy protein diet, usually found in meat. Now they do also get some grains in their food, but nothing too extreme. Now with the new research, we have developed a list of basic nutritional requirements for cats and dogs. We have developed formulas that allow us to give our animals complete nutrition with almost every meal with only one brand of dog food, compared to maybe 10, 15 years ago, vets were recommending that we do a cycle of dog foods. You give your dog one type of dog food for a month, and then you switch it up for a month, and you go through 3 or 4 different brands of dog food that then you kind of cycle it all. Just to make sure they get a complete nutritional balance. Now, our domesticated animals have evolved over many years, relying on their humans to give them the complete nutritional requirements, and they rely on us to make sure that they get fed properly. And then as the animals grow, starting as a puppy or a kitten, they start to require different nutritional aspects. My puppy is requiring puppy food, and she'll be on a puppy diet until she's 18 to 24 months old, compared to when I first had my Chihuahua as a puppy. He was on a puppy diet up until about a year old. But that's because she's larger, my Pit Bull Mastiff Freya, she's larger and is going to have more time growing compared to my Chihuahua, who pretty much plateaus at his size at about 10 to 12 months old. Sometimes even earlier than that, depending on breed, depending on other characteristics going into it. And then as a puppy or a kitten, they require a ton more calories than what a senior dog would require because of their level of activity. My puppy is very, very hyperactive. Her and I can probably go run about 4 miles right now, and she would still come home and want to run around some more. She may take a break real quick for dinner after that. And with these differences, you need to realize that there's also a difference between my large breed puppy food as well as my small breed puppy food. My large breed puppy food is still going to be jam-packed with a ton more nutrients and a ton more minerals that my puppy's going to need to grow up and get to her optimal size. Compared to my little Chihuahua, he's not going to need all of the jam-packed nutrients, all of the jam-packed minerals that my large breed puppy's going to need. Now, and then domesticated animals do still share some roots to their feral or wild counterparts. Dogs are still scavengers. That's why you have puppies that get into the trash. That's why they're always trying to chase down that little lizard or that little bird in the backyard, is because that is their primal instincts kicking in as, hey, this is possible food. I'm going to go chase it down. And then dogs themselves have evolved over time based upon their reliance of obtaining food from us, though. They still, even after killing a bird, killing a lizard, they will come up and still want food from their humans, because we give them enough food until they feel full, essentially. And then dogs have also become more pampered than what their feral or wild counterparts, you know, wolves and other animals like that, because we do feed them so much. My dog Freya, she is, as I said, 11 months old, and she now gets 6 cups of food a day because she is still growing. And then these animals have also become a crucial part of our lives, and it is super imperative that we have a small generalized understanding as to what to feed them. And for that, I always recommend sitting down and talking to your pet's veterinarian and figuring out what diet's best for them, maybe what life stage they're in, to making sure that they have that well-rounded diet. And it's nice to realize that we have come such a long way from what we were feeding dogs, but it's still going to be a long time till we get that optimal 100% perfect diet, if we can ever achieve that, because as evolution grows, so changes our wants and needs as a society, as people, as animals. And that is just amazing to think of, that we could change so much as a society. Thank you.